Hello and welcome to our food review from Narcoossee.
Yes.
We just went to Narcoossee and it was raining.
It was 42 degrees out.
It's 42 degrees
windy,
out and it was raining.
Rainy. It was so cold.
So we're gonna
I thought that Narcoossee was in the main building. So when we pulled up, we just
starting off. Okay, Narcoossee is at for the Grand Floridian. Okay, and it is not in the main building. Go ahead.
we did valet because we thought it was in the main building because they said that you'd have to park across the street and take a shuttle over to Narcoossee's. We just assumed it was in the main building.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it's not in the main building. It's across.
It's outside, which
It's like two buildings
we've been down there
down.
many times before. I should have known. I should have remembered. One of the more priciest places on property. Just to let you warn you of that.
I was expecting it to be more fancy inside the room. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't like as fancy. Like you think of Grand Floridian, you're thinking fancy.
Well, let's talk about the atmosphere a little bit, okay? Because when you walk into this restaurant, okay, it wasn't awe-inspiring. It wasn't something that said, "Oh wow, this place is awesome." It's not like the Grand Floridian. It's not like the California Grill.
Yeah.
It's not like some other fancy places that you see, like
even Chef de France.
Chef de France.
Yeah.
And the thing that caught me so much, okay, that we know that this is an expensive place. They like you to have business casual or better attire, but it's not a must. They say people can go there in jeans and a nice shirt. They will not turn you out if you're in shorts or in park attire.
So you do not have to.
So when you're walking in there trying to get a fancy dinner with a fancy setting with all the nice food and everything like that, be prepared because it could be a kind of a shock because you have kids hanging over the side of seats. You have messes everywhere. You have people that are in t-shirts and whatever, and they're wearing ball caps and they're wearing hats and they're wearing whatever. It's theme park attire. Just so if you're trying to go somewhere, so that was a little bit of a shock walking in. If you're trying to go somewhere for a fancy dinner or something like for Valentine's Day or something for an anniversary, something like that, I would not recommend Narcoossee's because it's going to be ruined by other people in way lower level attire. I'm just saying.
The other thing though is I was surprised of how loud it was. So
again, there are children.
There was children,
all over the
but
place
there was people talking.
Yeah.
Like we went to the Flying Fish. People were considerate and they kept their voices lower. So it was like a nice meal. I felt it was a fancy place there. We dressed up. And I felt like people respected that and they weren't loud. It was loud almost like a Chef de France, where even though Chef de France is fancy and everything, it's loud in there.
It was.
This place was loud.
I was not expecting. I was expecting Narcoossee's. Boom. I was expecting California Grill. So.
Right. The food's very pricey. If I'm going to go to a restaurant and the food is like very, very pricey, I expect it to be where people dress up. It's not loud like Chef Mickey,
I think
and that type of thing.
Now,
the
food was very, very good.
Oh, it was really good.
It was super. It was awesome. We started off, we get a bread service. You get these big, like, bread bowl things that are cut up in four.
It was sourdough, but not heavy duty on the sourdough taste.
Yes.
And it was warm.
And it was fluffy inside, and it was nice and bristly on the outside, crusty and chewy, and it had a really nice butter to go with it that had... Yeah. I thought they were it was like pink, the pink salted stuff, the Indian salt.
It didn't look pink
like
though.
that.
It looked
but it was
brown.
more reddish. It was like
Reddish
it was
brown.
darker. The lights were low though.
Yeah.
But it was. I thought it was very salty. Trisha said no, but
I didn't
I
taste
tasted it. I
saltiness.
tasted it by itself,
Oh, okay.
and
maybe.
it actually was very salty.
Okay, so maybe there was a salt factor to it.
So it starts off with the bread service, which was very good. Really like the bread service.
And the bread was cut in quarters, so it was,
So
like
you're getting like
you're
good
thinking
sized
it
bread
would be
bowl.
sliced, but then when you open it, you notice it's cut in quarters.
But they would usually put soup in. It's that size, but they cut it in quarters.
It was good. We all enjoyed the bread and the butter, and it was nice and warm, so that was really nice too. Do you want to do starters?
Yes, because I got the lobster bisque. Okay, now the lobster bisque, they bring out the bowl, right? And it has all the lobster pieces and fish pieces and all that stuff that's usually in a lobster piece, that in by itself in the center of the bowl. And then they come out and they start, what do they poured the actual bisque, I'm going to call it the bisque, the soup part of it, all around the
he did it
fishy
fast, so I couldn't catch it on the video.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. But then I'll say, because then you mix it up, you mix up your food, you mix up your lobster parts into the soup, and then you had it. It was very, very tasty. I like my lobster bisque. I try lobster bisque whenever I can at different places, and this was a decent lobster bisque.
Yeah.
Then I like we also got
I got the brisket and ricotta tortellini.
The ricotta brisket tortellini. So it's brisket and ricotta cheese inside the tortellini.
Now I was expecting it to get multiple small ones.
I was expecting it to be like the one in Via Napoli.
Yeah.
The tortellini that size.
Right.
But these tortellinis were like little claws. They're like pretty big. So you got 3 of them.
Yeah.
But they're pretty, I would say they're like this size. But they're pretty big. But they were like a little flower though.
They kind of, it kind of was. I cut one in half because I purposely get it so we could try it, but then bring it home for Avery.
Yeah, because Avery wanted leftovers.
So I had it, and it tasted like something I had before. I thought it was good. I couldn't narrow down where I've had that before.
It was a decent brisket flavor, and the ricotta was. Ricotta's not a strong cheese anyway.
No, I was gonna say I didn't really taste the ricotta.
And it
was more the brisket.
The noodle, it tasted really good. I like the flavor of it.
You get 3. You get only 3 of them.
You get 3.
Trisha got the salad. There was a blackberry and barrel aged feta salad, and she said that was really good.
My main meal, I got the for the entree, I got the scallops and gnocchi.
Plancha seared scallops and Parisian
seared
gnocchi.
Scallops and Parisian gnocchi.
Yeah.
Gnocchi, whatever. They're fantastic. You got 5 good sized scallops.
The scallops were a good size.
The little gnocchis were flour based, not potato based.
Right.
And the sauce that they were in was fantastic. I loved it. It was very, very creamy and like you would find at a very nice Italian restaurant. It was really, really well done. And my scallops were not undercooked. They weren't overcooked. They were perfect. I smelt them. Just did the Melissa test to make sure they didn't smell like Windex because we've been burned once before. Yeah. They were perfect and they were really, really nice. I love my scallops. I love the scallops at California Grill. That used to be my favorite place. These were on that level. They were really, really good scallops.
So for mine, they have, I like filet. They have sirloin steak. My mom got that. She said it was really good. And there was a lot of steak with that.
Huge. It was 12 ounces.
It
was 12 ounces.
Oh, God, I think it seemed more than that.
It did seem like a large. It seemed like 13.
So on the menu, they have a surf and turf, which is a 7-ounce filet mignon. And then you get a butter poached lobster tail. And mine came with mashed potatoes, roasted potato, a couple wedge roast potato, a couple carrot. The wedge potato and the carrots were not like fork tender. I like mine to be fork tender.
Yeah.
They were not. They were a little bit more
al dente.
Yeah, then what I would do. The mashed potatoes are really good. But the thing is you can get 2 lobster tails, or you can get just the fillet, or you can get the fillet and the lobster tail. So there's wiggle room of what you want. So I just got the fillet. I get mine well done, and it was cooked perfectly. And there was a nice char on the steak, and there was a saltiness to it, which I love salty steak. And the mashed potatoes, they were creamy. They weren't like super buttery. Everything was good. I enjoyed everything.
I tried.
I just wished my carrots, and there wasn't many of the wedge, like the carrot and
But
stuff.
not everybody likes their carrots mushy though.
No, I know. Well, I don't like them mushy. I just like if you could stick the fork in, it nicely goes in, fine. This I had to cut with a knife. It was, I don't want to say crunchy, but it was not soft.
Okay. I tried a piece of her steak too. Her steak was very, very good. And the brown sauce that they had with it was...
so it's a red wine demi-glaze.
Demi-glaze was...
It was good.
It was
and
really
I don't
good.
like sauciness with
Tiny
my
bit
steak.
of sharpness to it too, which is really, really good.
It was really tasty. I would definitely get that again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I could eat out of all the entrees that were available.
Yeah.
But it was really good. The food was really good at this restaurant, so I can understand the prices.
I also got from one of my sides, I got the sweet and sour Brussels sprouts. I highly recommend those, especially if you like Brussels sprouts. They had little pieces of ham and other things in there too. The room was kind of dark, so I couldn't see what else was in there, but it all tasted great.
I'm looking to say
but it had some sweet and sour. It had some sweetness to it. It had some sourness to it, and it tasted great. I saved most of them for bringing home for Avery.
So it's the applewood smoked bacon.
Yeah, it was big.
Sorghum malt. Gastrique. Oh no, I'll write it out for you guys. But they look good, and they gave you a good amount too.
Yeah, there was a good.
It was a special side, but
I want to say a 12-ounce bowl maybe of it.
There was a good amount, especially where considering my tortellini, there was only 3 pieces.
So in the middle of our meal, they lowered the lights down, and they imported the music to the fireworks at
Magic
Kingdom.
So when we were sat at a window, and when we looked out, we had the boat dock of the boat that goes from Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and you get to see the monorail.
Yeah, we could see
way
the
down the end
monorail
of,
going back and forth the whole
is.
time.
Yeah.
And then we could see Space Mountain really well, the top of the castle really well. So that was neat.
The train station really well.
And the train station, yeah, that was really neat. And then you could even see, could we see the contemporary, or was that? I think we could see some of the contemporary if we turned around. But that was neat to be able to sit and kind of look out at that. I mean, you're far, but you can still see it. You know.
And they warn you saying, okay, the parade, the fireworks is going to start at 8.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to know, okay, it's going to be starting. Are you guys going to be going outside to watch the fireworks? If so, we can hold your meals to make sure they're hot when you get back in. And we chose not to. We chose to watch it from the window.
Well, it was cold and rainy, don't forget.
Yeah, it's cold and rainy outside, so we weren't investors. It's like 42 degrees outside, which is very rare down here, but I guess not for January.
But it was nice that they offered that option.
Yes.
And we had no idea that they put the music in the restaurant. So they dim the lights
a lot.
So
you're walking around saying...
So Kim, the people we were with, Kim, he had his flashlight trying to look at his food because it was so loud. They do lower it, and you only have one small little candle that didn't light up enough. Yeah. So if you're one that eats and needs to see your food, that would be a little on the difficult side for you.
So for a drink, I got what I usually get a lot. The grapefruit Schafferhofer. I love it. My sister tried actually. She had a little sip of it, and she said it wasn't bad. She doesn't like beer, but she said it wasn't bad for beer. So
yeah, not very hoppy.
Not very. It's a light beer meant for 90-degree weather in Florida. It's very, very nice, and I had one tonight, and it was great, like always.
Yeah, my mother and I got coffee, and they bring over a coffee press, so I do have a video.
Yeah, the guy pressed the coffee down.
Yeah, coffee was okay.
It was flexing.
It was fair, it was coffee, nothing special.
After Okay, after the meal was done, we decided to get desserts.
You have to get dessert.
Now mine was pineapple. Do you remember the name of the pineapple thing I
I'm
got?
trying to look to say.
Okay.
So if you look online for the dessert menus, if you see a dessert menu that has the artisanal cheese selection, wrong menu.
Yeah, make sure
That doesn't exist. That's an old menu. So your pineapple dessert is not on this particular menu that I have found.
Pineapple Beauvoir or something like that, he said. And it was basically pineapple moussey thing on a shortbread cookie with a pineapple, very, very slim, thin slice of pineapple that had been dried to look like a flower petal.
Okay.
Had white chocolate, little Mickey Mouse lattice white chocolate work on top as well. It's very, very pretty, as you guys will see in the picture.
Yeah, it is. It was very pretty.
And it had like a little raspberry sauce around it. It was decent. I've had much better desserts, especially for $16.
I thought it was small.
$16, and it came with a little square of what was it?
Black
raspberry ice cream.
Ice cream.
I was disappointed in it. I told the waitress it was good. The waiter it was good, just because I don't like arguing with people. And but it was fair. It wasn't awful, but it was. I've had definitely $16. It should knock your socks off.
It should have been like a wow factor.
Now I tried hers. What did you have?
So it was a cheesecake with an almond crust. So when they say almond crust, that actually is pieces of almond.
The walls around the cheesecake were all
the crust. It was really good.
I tried it. It was really
good. I want to say there was like a ganache on it too. So you did have the almond flavor within the cheesecake as well. And then it had cherries. They were pretty strong cherries too. It was like cherry
compouty almost. It was
they were actual cherries, but not the red cocktail cherries. They were dark.
Candied. Like you'd find in a preserve type of cherry.
Yeah. Which I'll tell you, the dessert did not need them at all.
A cherry pie, I guess, too.
And then they had these. I'm looking at a picture, kind of like snowflakes, I guess. Candied snowflakes, but
they weren't candied.
They weren't. It wasn't candied. Sweet. I don't know what they were.
It was.
And then they had little puffs of whipped cream type of cream. So I would eat the snowflakes with the cream and the cherry because the cheesecake itself didn't need the cherries. Really, really good. And it was a good amount. I didn't even eat it all. And you know how I am with desserts.
Yes.
I could have eaten it all just with the taste of it. But so I really liked my dessert. I would definitely get my meal again. I don't think I would dress up next time as much. Now that we know how far away it is, I'd probably plan a little bit better on that. That kind of like was a disappointment in the very beginning.
Not knowing where we were going.
We didn't know where we were going. We assumed it was in the big building. So that was
raining,
on us.
It was cold, so that set the mood, I think.
And then we did the valet to avoid having to go out and walk in the rain and be in the rain. Because of the way they made it sound like we were going to have to park. And then we ended up having to walk anyways. So it kind of put a little bit of a damper, but that's...
Valet, if you're interested, it's $44.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that was great about this, Narcoossee's did have an annual pass discount, 10%.
This is dinner.
10% dinner, $6.30.
A lot of the Disney restaurants no longer do the annual pass for dinner.
This was a good thing.
So that was nice.
Off.
Especially because it's very pricey here.
Yeah.
That helped. That definitely helped.
Now, with all those things that we got, with us two and your mother, with the tip and everything like that, came to roughly around $370.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind. We did get, two appetizers, 2 desserts.
3 desserts.
We got 3 desserts. We got 2 coffees, which are probably more than my beer. These places, they charge like $9 for
their water was good. It wasn't like the Florida water. So.
But yeah, so overall, could you recommend Narcoossee?
I would. I would. My biggest thing is that we spent over $300 for 3 people. I would expect the
atmosphere to be better.
To have been will reflect that cost.
Yeah.
I really don't feel that the atmosphere
No,
matched the food.
it's in a
and
nice
the price.
place. You have nice windows looking over the
was
lake.
nice,
Okay,
yeah.
it was inside with the dress code. It's like if I was, it's like I'm dressing up in a suit and tie, and we're out there celebrating our anniversary or something like that. And there's someone like me sitting right next to us. It kind of ruins the moment, doesn't it? Right? If I was wearing this type of thing right next to no. Right?
Yeah.
So I think Disney. I don't know. I imagine it was a stricter dress code in the past, but maybe they had a hard time filling the place. Maybe that's when they usually relax
they
things.
Can't return. They can't tell people they can't come in.
But we can warn you.
Right.
Mindset.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people dressed casual.
Right.
So maybe don't pick this place for a very special dinner. But if you want great food. The food was great.
The food was good.
The food was good. The service was great.
The guy
Paul,
was really good.
Our waiter Paul did a great job.
Yeah.
And we had a picky person in our party that was substituting this and that.
It wasn't me.
And it wasn't me. And it wasn't Joanne. And it wasn't my sister. Who's that me?
But they so like they would remove everything. So they would give you all new silverware set.
Yeah.
So like you had your plate and your butter knife, they would remove all that. They came by and they scraped all the crumbs off.
And he was very knowledgeable about every single dish
yeah.
and all the ingredients in the dishes.
Yeah.
He was very good.
He said the almond cheesecake is his ultimate favorite. He thinks it's the best out of
On
all the property.
I disagree, but it was good.
It was very good. It was good.
So that's our wrap up.
Yeah.
That's our little review of Narcoossee. It's only a 3-hour wrap up. Sorry it took so long, but we had some, and we didn't mean to make it seem so negative in the beginning, but it was a rainy, cold night, and it was a little bit of a shock in regards with a few of those in a few situations there. So but hopefully you guys enjoy the pictures of the food and the videos that you took.
Yeah.
And
it was.
We recommend it.
I didn't
feel
feel
be prepared
comfortable.
for what the atmosphere is going to be really like.
I didn't feel comfortable walking around just because of the way the setup was, but there wasn't really much to video and look at. Like I'm standing around and wanting to take pictures, but there's nothing to take pictures of. Like truthfully,
nothing that grand.
There wasn't anything. Like food was really good, and it was really expensive. I just wish the atmosphere matched that.
We're gonna move on, and until next time, don't forget to do your duty.
It's a big duty.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.